So welcome everybody to our final week 4 of the Magnetic Social Media Mastery drop-in deep dive. This is going to be an incredible download. We've got some very, very exciting special surprises for you. And I want to give you the moment right now to send a message or a couple messages to anyone who you really want to make sure is in this energy with you, because this is going to be a phenomenal download and a phenomenal call, and you're going to have really, really, really powerful time sensitive information that's going to come through today. So while everyone's still jumping in, I'd love to have you all just go ahead and drop in the comments. What is one thing that you learned already in the last 3 weeks that you've put into practice? Or something that you've learned that you're excited to put into practice. And this is really the time, like when I ask you guys for or invite you to participate and to share, this is the time where you get to put your energetic signature into this space. This is the time when you get to put, when you get to show up and be co-creating this energetic sphere alongside of all of us. And that is where leadership begins to build. So I'm gonna read some of these out here. So we've got light touch story messages, so good. Rachel's real trick for using the trending audios with the lowest numbers, keeping it wide and light in connections with others. These sessions in the workbook have been absolutely amazing. Taking risks, saying less to more people, reels every day, every time it gets more comfortable. Just make the reel. Yeah, Hillary's been doing some amazing reels. Show up as myself consistently on social. Keep it simple and real tricks regarding audio, experimenting more with reels and having fun. Reels every day until I reach 10K followers. Oh yeah. Understanding how to show up authentically, asking questions, low trending reel audios, show up even if it feels cringe. Being a creator, shift from consumer, shorter reels using audio with less than 5K, dial in my message, tell my story. Beautiful. So there's many, many more takeaways. And yeah, so today what we're going to do is, now that you guys have been warmed up and you've been like in this incubator for the last 3 weeks, and you've been trying new things out, and you've been getting new information and revisiting old information, today we are going to really open the door to action. And we're going to give you some very specific tips and tricks and tools of how to take all this energy that you've just built and that you've just like laid down the foundation, and how to move it consciously and with intention and with aligned action into growth in your business. So if you're excited for that, let me know in the comments if that sounds like something that you're like here for and you're ready for. Type a 1 or just say ready in the comments, or drop your favorite emoji. Here for it all. Okay, beautiful. So before we get into the heart of this Zoom, I have a few announcements for you guys, because we are moving into a new phase of growth within our community. And it's really exciting. And you can see I'm all flushed. I'm like, I feel like I've been in the kitchen here cooking all these baking all these treats for you guys. And so there's some exciting things that we're moving into right now. So the first announcement that I want you guys to go into your calendar, pop into your calendar on your phone, and make a recurring event for Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be moving, starting Monday the 9th, into a 2-call-a-week flow. So we're going to bring back our Monday calls, which have been the place where prospects can come, guests can come, where we're going to have story time. It's going to be very nourishing. And then our Thursday calls, 1 p.m. Eastern. So it's 3 hours earlier than this call time. So 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Somebody time check me on that and make sure that's correct. So go ahead and put those into your calendars as a recurring event starting Monday the 9th. Yes, so starting this coming week, Monday the 9th, we will have 2 calls a week at an earlier time. And that's going to take us all the way through the end of November and perhaps beyond. So put that in. When you've put that in as a recurring event, just go ahead and type done. And yeah, Europe, we are making it more accessible for you as well. So this coming week, the next two Zooms, Monday and Thursday, are going to be, Mondays and Thursdays, yes, they are going to be for us and our guests. So these next two Zooms, please come, everybody come and bring somebody with you. And today's Zoom is going to be all about, how to do that. But these next two Zooms, Monday and Thursday, the 9th and the 12th, are going to be a space for you to invite your people to come specifically to receive the download, to receive the connection, to receive the communication, to get that feeling in their body about who we are, what we're doing, and the 44-day container that's coming up. So the 44 days is going to start on the following Monday, which is the 16th. So that's the day that we're going to actually start our 44-day business container, which is a 6-week training, which will support you to relaunch your business and support everyone who's coming in to launch their business and have a step-by-step simple, it's like all of the information, all the 10 years that I've been doing this, I've distilled it down to a 6-week process to take us through the first 44 days of someone's experience here. This one will be consistent. Yes, we're switching the time, and that's going to be a consistent new time. So I'm going to, done adding the college workout. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly the website for our 44 days. Oops. And you guys can find this at thefrequencyfamily.com/44 days. And I'm going to teach you how to utilize this page and how to leverage what we're doing here. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But this is our page that you're going to use to have people opt in and get the prospecting link and replay. So if you see this page right here, it's very similar to the one that we did for social media. And whenever they click on send me the link, they're going to be able to add their name and email, and they will get a reminder for the Zoom. Oops. So I just want to pause there and make sure that that's clear. Are you guys all clear on what the plan is coming up? We've got 2 guest events for all your people that you're going to learn how to invite to today. And then starting the following week, we are going to be taking everything that we've learned about social media and taking all the other pieces, and we're going to be moving massive energy together as a community through the end of November, which is historically the time and the place and the space in the Western calendar where the floodgates open the most and more people say yes. The most people are excited to invest in themselves. It's Black Friday season. So we're really creating this beautiful runway all together to move energy collectively into the space of expansion of our community and really fundamentally bringing this tool of Healy into the hands of the people who are praying for it, who are looking for it, who are ready to have a transformation in their life, and bringing that out into the world in a more powerful and more magnetic way than we have ever before. So that is the foundational piece. Let me just check my notes here. Okay, so one other quick thing. So Katie, can you drop the link of the 44 days into the chat, please? So you guys want to grab this link for the 44 days and keep that. Everything is thefrequencyfamily.com, very easy, and it's just 44 days, so that's what you're going to send to your people. Then I also wanted to remind you that if you haven't already, please put your email and all of your information into our welcome page, which is thefrequencyfamily.com/welcome. This is our easy, simple, one-step onboarding doorway into the community. So whenever anybody purchases a Healy from you and steps into the community, you want to make sure that you're sending them this welcome link. And we're going to be building it out with a Meet Your Healy PDF and all kinds of other things. But for now, this is going to give them the basic orientation and how to get into the Zooms. So that's step one. Whenever someone orders from you, so all the people that ordered from you last month, make sure that they have that welcome link and that they have joined. They're going to get the emails, they're going to get all the things. So that's step one. Step two is that when you enter in through the welcome link, you get the resources page. And I want to make sure that you guys all have this bookmarked in whatever device that you use, because the resources page is where we have all of the information about, like, this is what you get. This has the call times, it's got all the details, everything that you need. And then at the bottom of this page, because some people have been asking, the bottom of this page has the link to the entire social media course with all the workbooks, so that you can just click on that, and here's the direct link to that as well, social media replays. But all you need to have is the welcome and the resources, and you are good to go. You'll get all the information that you need. You don't have to be combing through things or like looking through scattered information. We are streamlining everything for you so that it's easy to connect with and easy to share. And that is really the foundational principle of what we're doing here in the 44 days as well. So if that is something that you've been craving in this space, to like know what to do and have simple, easy steps, and that you're excited for that, let me know in the comments as well, because I can personally say that when I know exactly what to do, I feel really safe and really relaxed. And yeah, and so it's been a huge growth expansion over the past year and a half in this space. Like, we've grown so quickly that there hasn't even been almost time to create these simple systems. And that is what I'm now with special thanks to Sam, to Samantha Lethio, who's been creating all of these beautiful PDFs and everything with me in the background. Sam, like, raise your hand so we can all just thank you, Sam. She's amazing. And so, yeah, we're moving into this new phase of simplicity, duplication, and ease and efficiency, and just moving things through with clarity. So here we go. So I'm going to give you guys our new installment of the workbook here. And Samantha, the goddess of Kajabi. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and screen share, and I'm going to take you through our next workbook installments. Oops. And okay. So if somebody can just come off mute and let me know that you can hear me, that's very helpful, because I can't see anything. I'm doing this.
We hear you.
Yep. Great. Okay, so week 4, here we go, you guys. Flow state. Week 4 is all about flow state. And this is where we take all of the energy, all of the foundational information, all of the clarity, all the practice that we've done, and we're going to move it into action and into creation and into growth. So first step, and what we're going to be talking about really deeply today, is the invitation. So as you've been creating all these connections, and you've been creating all of this, like this community, and you've been clarifying your own message, this is the time when we are going to start to move the energy in a direction and into a space of information. So when you're inviting somebody, this is really the place, number one, where you want to get consent from them. So this is, I want to like really clarify from the beginning that inviting somebody to something, whether it's to take a look at a video or to come to this Zoom or whatever, to connect with your upline, that whenever you invite somebody, the most important thing is to always get consent. You always want to ask somebody, I'm curious, if I sent you this, would you want to take a look at it, right? Can I send you a link? Never just send something to somebody without getting a yes from them first. So that's like fundamental etiquette in terms of inviting. And when we invite someone to, so I want to also kind of clarify this trajectory that, and I was actually talking to someone about this earlier. He was telling me, I've like been creating content, and like, I've talked to some people, but nobody's a yes yet. And when you bring somebody into a space where there's energy moving, independent of you, and you bring someone into a space and they can receive this embodied experience of like feeling the energy of what we're doing here, that is often the most important step for them in their actual trajectory to yes. So if it's just you sending links, it's a totally different experience than when they come into a space and they get that social proof and they feel the energy and they're like, whoa, something's happening here. And they're also going to get exposure to voices and to people who have the experience and have the posture to hold this in such a way that that it can be really beautifully received. And it's also for you to always come on these guest Zooms, because that's where you get the information and you get that transmission of how to posture it, so that eventually you're going to be the one hosting these Zooms. So there are two main ways to invite here. One is attracting your audience to an event by sharing about it, which is what we've already been practicing and doing calls to action. And then once they show they're interested, sending them the link and following up afterwards. So the follow-up is crucial in the invitation process. And the second way is to reach out to people directly with an invitation that you've crafted, either via message, voice note, or phone call. And this is one of the most amazing ways to bring in another touch point in the follow-up process as you're moving people through this like exposure trajectory, like we talked about last week, that it takes multiple exposures for someone to be ready to say yes. And so as you're following up with them, like, this is such a great way to go back into your list and say, oh my gosh, I know that we had spoken about this and that you were curious, and like there's this beautiful Zoom happening. I'd love to send you the link and hear what your thoughts are. So I've written out a little invitation flow for you guys. This is kind of how this is like a peek into my brain of how I move energy, and it might be totally different for you, but this is like an 11-step process that I just tuned into and shared. So number one, use the previous workbooks to get into high level of content creation. Number two, share your truth first and then ask your audience for theirs. So rather than just putting out like content, like a poll or putting in the slide, you want to make sure that you are creating the context of the background of who you are and what you're thinking about. Post multiple times a day in your stories and at least once on your feed. Share something personal, and this kind of goes back to number two, and then share the story tiles or the opt-in. Don't just put the tile on there and like just put a thing that says like 44 days to freedom with nothing else, no call to action, like no information, no story, nothing, no connection to you. The energy will only move if it's connected to you. Number five, don't post the actual link, like the clickable link in your stories, because it can affect your views. You can prompt them to go to the link in your bio by taking a screenshot of it and circling the link, or or give them a call to action to DM you for the link. You can also, number six, use the captions of your posts and reels to share your story and weave in the upcoming event, add a call to action. Number seven, respond to every connection you receive. This is so important. If somebody comments, respond to them and then DM them. Like, if you want to make sure that you comment on every single person who connects with you, because that creates the engagement that will pop your content up in Instagram, right? Like they're going to give you more exposure if you're actively connecting with people. Then important piece of number seven is use the tracker sheet. Like, I highly, highly, highly encourage and invite you to print out like at least 4 of those tracker sheets so that you can keep track of all the people that you're in connection with. You can also use the general mailbox in your Instagram so that you can get 2 mailboxes. One is primary and one is general, and you can use that general mailbox and move all of your Healy related combos into there and flag the ones that are the warmest so that you can go back and follow up with them later. Go back into all the old conversations and use this event as an opportunity to follow up. Get consent to send the link first, and you can use the language, I'm curious. And I'm going to give you like a little sample invitation script as well. Number 9, keep track of everyone who you have invited. Like really, really, really keep track of the people who have said yes, who you've sent a link to, especially, and let them know that you're going to send a reminder to them before the call, and let them know that you're excited to hear from them after. Give that foreshadowing. Number 10, reach back out to the people that you invited after the event and ask if they were able to make it and what resonated for them. Send a replay to them if they weren't there. And number 11, find out what other questions they have before they are ready to say yes, and get them the information that they need. Connect them directly with your mentor for support. So this is just a nice little flow. You don't have to do all the steps, but those are the steps that I take, and I find them to be quite effective when I'm in the energy of inviting. Okay, so this is just a really, really simple script for you guys to use. And you want to really make this your own. This is not something that you're going to just copy and paste, but it's just an example of how you can invite someone in a disarming way, like in a way that's not like super, right? So I will often start the conversation with, I was just thinking about you because, or respond to one of their stories and really kind of create that personal connection. And I'm curious what you're up to on Monday at 1 Pacific. I find that to be a very open-ended way to start the process. Like, I'm just curious what you're up to on Monday. And when they answer, I'm free or I'm busy, why? Then you can respond and use these kind of touch points, respond in your own language. A few people who I respect from my business community are going to be sharing this amazing download on what we're up to for the next 44 days. I'd love to have you jump on with me and hear your thoughts. If I sent you the info, would you be open to checking it out? I'm curious to see if it's something you might resonate with. So you don't have to send all of those sentences, but you can see how like when you're communicating with somebody from that space versus it's a lot of curiosity and a lot of like drawing it out from them rather than coming in and just sending them a link and being like, jump on this thing, right? So when they respond and say, sure, I'd love to check it out, you can just let them know, awesome, I'm going to send you the link and I'm going to remind you. Let them know, like give them that foreshadowing, I'm going to send you a reminder so that you don't feel weird about reminding them before it happens. And then you can say, I'm excited to connect after. If they can't make it, you can send the recording, find out when they can watch, and keep track of everybody on your tracker sheet. So that is just a quick little sample of language that I like to use. Okay, I'm going to take a pause. I can't see your comments, but please share your takeaways about this whole invitation piece, and I'll read them in a minute because we're moving into another phase of this experience right here. So as I was saying, actually, I'm going to just stop for a second. I'm going to stop here because I want to see you guys. Okay. Hi. So I'm just going to take a pause and I'm going to give you guys a little like eye-to-eye share about the 11-day challenge before I go in and give you the steps with the workbook. So the 11-day social media visibility challenge is something that I have woven into the space of Healy and my business from the very beginning. So every single person that I enrolled personally in the beginning of my business, I had them all do this. And I told them, go ahead, like they buy their Healy, and I'm like, great, post today and post every day for the next 11 days. And if you do that, I'm going to send you the Quantum Leap program personally. And that is how all of my top leaders launched their business who are direct to me. Every single one of them, whether they did all 11 days or not, like that was the instruction. Tag me on every single post and send them to me or put them in a highlight, and I'm going to send you this program. We then like incorporated it into a community piece where we started to run these challenges, and we would send everybody a program who completed the challenge. And then we stopped sending everyone the program because it became huge. Like we had so many people that were doing it. And so I am so excited to share with you guys that I'm going to give you the instructions in a minute, but before I give you the instructions, I want to share something so incredibly rich and powerful that we are receiving directly from Healy, which is that they have offered, well, actually, I asked, I requested that if there was any way for our community, for all of you who complete our 11-day social media challenge, which begins today and ends the 16th, entries are due the 19th, so you have a little bit of wiggle room there. But for all of you who complete this challenge and submit your entries by the 19th, and we check them and they're all good, that Healy is going to send each of you who do this in an exclusive program that's called Prosperity that is not available for purchase through Healy. It is nobody else. Actually, I think that they gave this to like someone in Australia, like some they used it for some like live thing that people came to. But other than that, like you cannot get this program. The only way that anyone can get this program right now is by being in this community and completing this 11-day challenge. So Prosperity, who's down for that? Who's excited? Who's like, okay, I'm in. Like, I'm going to give you all the instructions, but if you're already in for the 11 days, let me know because it's going to be so powerful. And one of the things that happens when we do the 11 days together is that we create community magnetism. We create community, like this momentum. And like I've seen this 11-day process exponentially grow our community because everyone's like moving so much energy and it becomes like a vortex. So I'm really excited to share with you guys the details. And I'm also going to share one extra little cherry on top, which was requested of me by a few of my leaders, which is that I'm going to personally choose one person, one of you who completes this to do like a half-hour one-on-one like social media review with you and give you like personal coaching. So if that's also something that you're excited about, personally, I think the Prosperity program is more exciting. But I was told by some other people that no, like your time is also valuable. So so exciting. And thank you to Healy for giving us this amazing opportunity to do this. So I'm going to go back to our little Canva Prezzo here. Oops. Okay, so the 11-day social media challenge, and then we're going to hear from Kelly. I'm going to squeeze her in really quickly here. The 11-day challenge is post 11 times daily from now until we start our 44 days on Monday, October 16th. This is the best way to launch or relaunch your business. Duplicating this with all the people, the brand new people who come into your team and come into your space is the most powerful and effective way to help them have sales, sell Heelys, and make their money back on their purchase that exists. There is no more powerful way that I've experienced in 10 years than to have someone go public right away and consistently for at least 11 days. The theme of this challenge is freedom. So we're going into the 44 days of freedom. The theme of the next 11 days is you talking about freedom. What does freedom mean to you? What freedom are you creating? Freedom internally, freedom externally, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. There's a whole page of prompts that I'm going to share with you guys, but really just dive into this theme. Oops, we got Sam like working behind the scenes here. She is typing as we speak and shifting up the 11-day instructions. But you're going to you can use stories, reels, or lives, but if you use stories, it has to be at least 4 per day. You're going to share all the content in your story. So let's say you make a reel, you're going to share that reel to your stories. You're going to tag at the .frequency.family. You're going to tag your upline, and then you're going to save it to a highlight and label it freedom. So And then you can also use the hashtag 44 days to freedom. We have created a little form for you guys in our website so that by the 19th of October, you're going to go into this link, thefrequencyfamily.com/visibility, and you're going to fill it in, and you're going to add the link to your highlight so that we can go in and check and make sure that everything is good to go, and that we can get you your program from corporate. You're going to leverage the energy of this 44 days to freedom and this social media challenge to create curiosity and connect with everyone who is engaging with your content. This is really where we're going to put into practice everything that we've learned over these past 4 weeks, and like dive in. This is like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to really move energy consistently and powerfully in this space, to start this 44-day process with the people who are praying for this, who are looking for this, who want to create an additional income stream, who want to have an impact on the world in this way, who want to bring their energy out there, who want support, who want training, like who want everything that we have. And so when you go public and you let them know that you have what they're looking for in a big way, in a visible way, in a devoted way, it's truly miraculous what can happen. So, oops, I got my camera in there. So here is a list of prompts and ideas for you guys. This is meant to be primarily focused on our business training, on creating an additional income stream, on whatever financial freedom means to you. It's not exclusively that. So there is room to do like 1 or 2 things about Healy, but it's not meant to be like, oh, here's the program I'm running today. Here's the program I'm running today, like 100% frequency forward. We're talking wealth forward. We're talking vision forward. We're talking dreams forward. We're talking medicine forward. We're talking, freedom forward. Okay. Freedom forward. And within that, maybe like maximum 2 or 3 things can be specifically like, here's my Healy, but the rest of it is really like, what is your soul here to express in this time? Who are you and how do you fit into this landscape? And who is your audience and how do they fit into this landscape? So here's a list of ideas and prompts. You don't have to do all of them, but definitely do many of them, and you can sprinkle in your own as well. But this is really the spirit of this is to share with your community why you're here, what you're creating, and to get curious about why they're here and what they want to create, and to help them find what we're doing and plug into it. So that is and if you have questions or anything, like you can reach out to me or to your mentors, but it should be pretty clear. We've done this many times before. And I'm right on time here, 5:34. We're going to move into pro tips and tools to move more energy with less effort. And I'm going to show you guys this little section of the workbook, how to use ManyChats. We're going to have Kelly jump in right now and share about some of the tools that she uses. So there's a section right here, using ManyChat. That one is going to be your like map to what Kelly is about to share with us. So I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to get this download from you, Kelly. So let's see, where's she at? There we go. Hi, Kelly. So I know you have 10 minutes. Give us your, well, let me just introduce you first. So Kelly is someone who I am so inspired by her content always. She is one of the most real, authentic, raw, funny, like sassy. She brings her whole self, her whole personality, and she is, oops, let me turn my video back on here. Hang on. She is someone who I watch very closely in the online space. And she's also now currently launching a whole program that is like, that has been up leveling her game, her social media game. And so Kelly has been using ManyChats to more efficiently move energy. And Kelly, share with us your download and your inspiration, because I'm ready to receive.
Hi, everyone. So if you hear some crazy piano in the background, I'm solo parenting, solo entrepreneuring today, and my kids are old enough to be unsupervised, so it's all good, but they might be making some chaos. Yeah, so who loves a good system? Let's be honest. One, if you love a system. Two, if it makes you feel cringe. Where are we? A lot. Okay, 1,000 ones. 111. A three. I'm gonna take that as like three ones in one. Fucking love it. Love. Okay, 1.5. So, all right, awesome. Virgo North Node loves a good system. Paige, I feel you. Lots of Capricorns wanting some systems. Great. So I am speaking to the right people. Sarah said I have been creating something on the back end of my life right now. Yes, I am creating and launching my first ever online course, and I am taking my time to put it into the most incredible system, because part of the reason I love Healy and I love network marketing and I love this space and I love working with frequency and energy is I love energetic systems. I love things that work for me. I don't want to work harder than I have to. I'm a mom and have kids and am a hockey coach, and I'm sure you can all relate where you're like, I've got a million things going on. The last thing I want to do is spend more time doing things that aren't really moving any energy. So Sarah's given us so many amazing tips on how to connect with people, how to send invitations, how to get people into your world and into our space that we are creating for this 44 days. And one of the tools that I like to use, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it just very briefly, but in the workbook that you have, it's pretty extensively outlined. If you want to dive in deeper to this system, it's called ManyChats. And you can go into the workbook and there's some pictures and there's like 3 really, really good detailed steps. But I want to talk a little bit about that. And then I want to talk a little bit about how do we actually get it to work for us? So what is ManyChats? It is this new integration that integrates into Instagram, which how many of you are using Instagram as your primary space to connect with your communities and be visible to new people? Me. Okay, ding, ding, ding. That is our place. This is our playground. So ManyChats integrates really, really seamlessly with Instagram in 2 ways that I've been using. There are other options, but the 2 ways I've been using it are on my feed, so in the comments section, and also in my stories. One of the things that Sarah said was putting a link in our stories, although when that came out, it was really exciting. We didn't have to swipe up anymore. You can now just click a link and it'll appear. But what it does is, I've observed it lowers my views, and it's most of the time limits how much exposure I'm getting to my community, because Instagram is now triggered that it's trying to take you off the app and somewhere else. So ManyChats kind of gives us a little workaround around this without having to send people to the link in bio. You can create a trigger within ManyChat in the back end of this, where you set up a word like freedom, and you can say, okay, ManyChat, anytime somebody DMs me the word freedom, I want you to send it this information. So it's kind of duplicating us. It's giving us the opportunity to take a message that we want to connect with people and duplicate it, so we don't have to consistently be like waiting in our DMs, or like, did they respond? I don't want to wait too long and not respond right away. It will do it for you. And what you can set it up to have is a personalized message and then a link to something. So you're delivering the information right to them. And you can set this up. It's so, so easy. If you go to the website and look at how you do it, you literally will click create an automation, and then you're going to choose what word do you want to trigger this this little funnel, like a little mini funnel. And then you'll type in the word that you want to use, make sure you remember which word it is, and then you're going to use that in your call to action for your community to use that, so that you can deliver them the information, and then you'll plug in your content, and that's pretty much how it works. And you can do this on your feed. So I know you all have seen this where people say, comment freedom down below and I'll send you ... to your DMs. Well, some people, like I was, having people do that, and then I'd go through, and sometimes if something really, took off, like my content was good, my messaging was great, and my call to action was really good, and I'd get a bunch of messages. I'm spending all this time going and like sending all these messages to people, where with this integration, I can now have like a duplication of myself sending that message to open up the conversation, to create a jumping off place. And it's been super, super helpful. So I'm going to just read the comments really quick. Can it be multiple words like separate funnels? Yes. So you can set it up for multiple things. Like, let's say for the 44 days, you are doing this 11 days of content. You are aligning your energy. You are so in your power. You have your messaging down. You know exactly who you're talking to, which is what I'm going to talk about in a second, is about how to do that. But, and maybe something really takes off and you want to have multiple different things. Maybe one of your things is you're going to send them a free PDF, and you can have comment free down below. Maybe you're sending them a little piece of information or a little download. Then maybe you have one set up for freedom, which is going to send them the link. Dylan, okay, hold on. I'm on a call. Go on. Okay, thank you. All right. My son said, thank you for letting him have his friend over. Anyways, so then you can have multiple words set up. Let me get back on track. So one of them could be freedom. And then whenever they comment freedom, it's going to send them the link to the frequency family 44 days so that they can opt in to come to our 2 free calls. Maybe another thing that you're running during this 11 days is a free PDF, like the top 3 ways I use frequency in my life so that I can feel confident showing up on social media, or whatever it might be. Anything that you have that's going to be of value. So yes, you can have multiple things going at once. Can you set up the trigger into a sticker, answer DM, or has to be normal DM? Normal DMs is the only way that you can do it right now. Yeah, so stories on your page. It's really simple to set up. Pick a word, stick with whatever word, remember what it is, and it will deliver the information to you. So a couple of tips that I have for getting people to actually comment, right? How many of you are like, this sounds awesome. If I could get people to comment, if I could get them to I would just want to see it in my comment section. I want to see that word freedom in my comment section. Exactly. How many of you are kind of like in that space a little bit? Like, this all sounds awesome. How do I get it to connect? Yep. This is where I need help. Cool. All right, cool. So these are 3 things that I find really, really helpful. And the number one thing always is be yourself, right? I would recommend during this 11 days to get tunnel vision, literally, like focus on yourself, focus on your message. We are such an amazing group of community members, and watching what other people is doing is sometimes really helpful. And sometimes it can be distracting and we're like, maybe I should say it this way, or maybe I should do it that way. It's like, get really clear, get in your own energy, get in your own message, your own voice, and that will really help. But the number one thing is talk to one person. Talk to one person. When you're showing up, not like, hey, people out there who love frequency, or like, hey, if you are a entrepreneur, or if you love this, it doesn't feel as personal as if you were like, I know you could relate to this story or something, or I know you remember the first time that you something that is connecting directly with one person. Like, when someone is reading your message or your story or your content, they feel like you're only talking to them. Because if it says something so broad as like, you guys, or hey, everyone, or even just lumping everyone into a certain group, like anyone who loves yoga, or all my people out there who want this, it doesn't feel like you're speaking right to them. So then you might lose people and they won't follow your story, or they won't read your actual caption. So that's the number one thing, is like really focus on talking to one person. Imagine that everybody is just this one person and they are all these characteristics. Yeah. Number two, talk about something that's familiar. Familiarity is so powerful for our brains, because when we are reading something or we're hearing something that we can relate to, it automatically makes us feel at ease. It makes us feel engaged. We can actually transport ourselves there, and you stay in it. So creating in your story or your information or your tips or your inspiring like conversation, making sure that there's something familiar. Things that I've been writing and working on for my storytelling are like weaving in things like when you're doing your yoga practice, or when you're drinking your morning cup of coffee, or that next deep exhale that you take is going to feel so da da da. So really understanding who you're talking to will help you know what kind of habits they have, or what kind of things that they're doing regularly, so that they're like, that's me, that's me, that's me. And it's continuously relating them back to something that's familiar for them. Oftentimes it's things that are pretty familiar for you too. All things that I'm familiar with. And then the third thing is creating desire-based messaging versus pain points. This is huge. This is so huge. Like, we're in the business of frequency. We're in the business of nervous system regulation and feeling really good in our bodies. And the worst thing that we can do is constantly being like, do you feel unworthy about showing up on social media? Or every time you go to do this, you just feel like so like out of your body, or you don't feel confident every time you do this. It's like, they might be like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. But often what it's doing is you're attracting disempowerment. You're attracting people who aren't in their power, or they might not want to be in their power. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing, but what it does, it makes it harder to convert. It makes it harder to get them to their desired result, because they want to kind of like stay with the pain, and they want to stay in that. And it might be harder to kind of convince them and get them to where you really want to go, versus you woke up to another message saying, I can't wait to work with you, or you just saw your DMs and it blew up with messages about how what you just shared impacted them. And like that kind of messaging, when somebody reads it who's ready to be empowered, who's like maybe not all the way there, but they're ready to be there, they're going to respond more positively. They're going to be like, send me that freaking link. I want to be in that call. I want to be a part of your community. That's the kind of energy I need to be around. Does that make sense? So when you're using an automated system like this, you're going to get a lot better results. You're going to get a lot more conversion when you're speaking to one person, knowing what really is familiar to them and weaving it into your story, and talking to their desire. Like, what is their end result? What do they really want? Freedom, right? A lot of it is freedom. They want to feel free. They want to feel financially abundant. They want to feel connected to community. They want to feel expressive in their body. They want to feel their creativity blossoming while their bank account is building. Like, there's so many ways that you could like paint that picture of desire, instead of like, do you feel like the world is crumbling and you don't have enough money to pay your rent? It's like, ew. When we're doing that, we're like maybe relating, but we're not really talking to a place of like hope, like they can actually do it. And so when we get them already in that vision of the desire, they're going to be like, give me the link. I'm in, I'm signed up, and you'll get people who are more in their power in your space. So that's all I got for you right now. Sorry about my kids interrupting us.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry. Part of this amazing world we get to be in, but I hope that's helpful. And if you need any help, just shoot me a DM. You can take a peek at my page. I've got 2 automations going right now that are working really well. So if you go, you can just investigate what I've been doing. One of them is Elemental and one of them is Moonspeak. This little
And I was just checking you. I was like I was checking Kelly out. Like, what's Kelly up to over
I got
there?
like 8 of them already today using Moonspeak, and it worked. So, and I used these strategies. So you can check that out.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kelly. That was amazing. Takeaways, like what did you guys just learn from Kelly? And also, Kelly, if you want to pop your Instagram handle into the chat so that everyone can find you, can locate you, become locatable. It's Kelly Mason. And thank you so much. I know you got to run and go to your hockey, your other life as a hockey mom. So thank you for your time. We got great takeaways, mind blown. Everyone's just, so, and if you want like inspiration, Kelly's a great person to follow and just watch how she navigates her energetic, like how she relates, how relatable she is on Instagram. Like when you watch Kelly, you feel like you know her, and she does all the wacky, funny, silly stuff along with like, the gangsta, she mixes it up, and that's authenticity. I just watched this thing, really, just as a quick side note, I just watched this this little remix of a reel that was talking about what's the most powerful like frequency that comes through humanity, and everyone thinks that it's love. And it's actually, there was studies that were done that love is not the most impactful energetic and emotion that comes through the human system. It's authenticity. Authenticity is the most powerful, impactful space that you personally can be inhabiting. So when you get authentic, whether that means you're crying, actually Renee, if Renee's on here still, Renee just did, she just did like a 5-day visibility challenge with a whole nother container. And she did she was telling me the other day, she showed up, she did a video where she was talking about an experience of deep grief that she had in her life. And she cried all over that video. And it was like a 15-minute video that she recorded and posted on her Facebook. And she got more, the response was overwhelming. Why? Because she dropped all the way into her authentic experience. She didn't try to make it like this. She didn't try to show up like that. She just went all the way down. So you don't need to cry on your Instagram, but make sure that however you're showing up, it is authentic to you, because that is the most magnetic quality. And it is also really incredibly freaking rare these days, because we are living in a world of weaponized conformity. Everyone is taught be like everybody else. So when you get into yourself, and this is why we use the Healy, this is what Healy helps us with specifically. This is also what having more resources in our world helps us with specifically, because we can make choices in our lives that are more authentic to ourselves. We can express ourselves in a way that is more authentically aligned with our truth, because it helps us like separate from the external. All right. So I am not going to go back into the workbook right now. You guys can go ahead. It should be live. Sam is going to let us know in the comments when it is live. I know you guys are really anxious to get into that workbook. We were working on it right up till the end, till the curtain opened for this Zoom. It's been a real labor of love creating all these PDFs for you guys. So that will be live. She'll let us know in the comments here, but that the tools and tips and tricks that are in there to move more energy with less effort is like, how to put a link into your bio. It's very like structural things, and it's very easily, like it's very easy to follow. So I'm not going to go in and like read all those pages. What I am going to do instead is bring two more incredible humans to 11 days from tomorrow. That's fine. You know, I mean, yeah. So what I'm going to do instead is bring two more incredible speakers to the microphone here. And we are, as usual, going to go about 10-15 minutes over the time. So like this is usually a 75-minute call. So please stay. You are going to get some powerful transmissions from these next two women. So first I'm going to call to the microphone Miss Katie Anderson. Katie is a doctor of Oriental medicine. Tell me, Katie, what is your official title? Katie's a sister that I met when I was probably pregnant with my second baby way back in the day in Kauai. She had this beautiful farm called Fairyland Farm. She was just always covered in red dirt, barefoot, cruising out there with her plants. And we connected and we've been close friends ever since. And I've witnessed her in her space, number one, like educate herself in all these different ways, including going to school and working with acupuncture and then coming into the space of frequency. And her content is absolutely beautiful. Like Katie has got an aesthetic that is so gorgeous and so magnetic. And she has been going pretty much 100% like wealth and vision forward. She's got an amazing page. Check her out. She renovated an Airstream. It's awesome. So Katie, come on here and give us some of your just give us share with us a little bit about your experience with the 11-day challenges. Give us some of your tips on how you really show up in your, because authenticity is like the name of your game. I mean, that's really, it's, you know, how you show up is both beautiful and evocative. So give us your workbook is live, by the way. Check it out, y'all. So yeah, just come and share with us some of your nuggets.
Wow, thank you so much, Sarah. I am so excited to offer my voice in this space, and I just feel, wow, like really blown away by that introduction. So thank you for that. I'll just go ahead and dive right in. I don't know about y'all, but how many of you are really excited about a prosperity program? Type a 1 in the comments if you're super excited about that, because the expert programs really have blown me wide open. So when I first committed to myself to show up on social media for my business, I actually dropped into a 30-day reel challenge. And I was doing 1 reel a day for 30 days. And at first I got really, really excited. And it was like all of my excitement came like bursting out into this like expression of creativity. And that I really was like looking for that expression to like crack me open. And it did. And it got me like a little ramped up, right? So it almost made it to where I was frozen, because there's so many different facets on what we could share about, right? It was like the freedom of business, the device, the community. There was like all this energy moving. And so what happened was I gave myself permission to be into messy action. And so I know that we've talked about this before, but I want to reiterate it as we move into this 11-day challenge, is the idea of it doesn't have to be perfect, that your social media page is actually a playground for expression and exploration. And that's really what I have done, is shown up in a way that honestly, I can't show up in any form of my life in any other way other than super authentic. And I feel like that's relatable to all of us. We're all just trying to express ourselves more authentically in every facet. And social media is such a beautiful way of finding our community. Our different light workers like all over the globe, which I love thinking about that, the visualization. So I've really let social media be an organic log of becoming. And so what happened when I first shifted, when I first committed to that 30 days, is I got really ramped up. I got a little overwhelmed, and it almost froze me to not post. And then what I allowed myself to realize is that I shifted my perspective from this short-term perspective. And I know that we're doing an 11-day challenge, but what I did was I actually turned it into this long-term, consistent devotional work of showing up in my business every day. It wasn't this like slingshot action of, I'm just going to do it for 11 days and see what happens. It was this experience of showing up devotionally. And when I realized that I was here for that long haul, even though I had eruptions of like, am I doing this? Like, am I doing it enough? Am I doing good enough? That's where like the messy action came. I just sent it. And then also the beautiful aspect of community, right? We're able to like reach up, we're able to lean over to our brothers and sisters. But that long game where it allowed me to have more, almost a relaxed nervous system that I was moving from, where I was like, this isn't this like blown out thing that I'm doing where I'm just like talking to talk. It's this, I'm just sharing. And that allowed me to actually post 2 to 3 reels a day, likely because I wasn't there for like this upheaval of information. It was an evolution for me. So I encourage you guys all to have this feeling of evolution. Let yourself be in a space that isn't perfect. And at that point, when I started this, and even now, I knew 3 things to be true. One was that frequency is the medicine of now. It's extremely beneficial and incredibly tangible, both inside and outside of clinical settings. That leveraged income is really the only way I desire to create wealth in my life. And 3, community. That linear, or that the a lineage-based business is how I desire to work. So I share about those 3 topics. And I know I hear this often, that we attract what we put out, right? So if we're talking about the device, we're going to get people who are attracted to the device. And if we're talking about business, we will attract those who desire a business or wealth or leveraged income. So another thing that I often hear, I'm going to get into this a little bit, is that people feel like they may need to already have done something before they can talk about it. They may need to already experience the frequencies before they can talk about it. They need to already have made money from this business before they can share about it. And I'm going to let y'all know a big secret that might keep you from doing something, or might just allow you to open up into your authenticity. So when you know the 3 things that we've been calling them pillars, but when you know those 3 things that you hold super dear in your heart, it's like you get to keep pulling back to that space of that. So first, I want to talk about a term that I've experienced a lot in my life, and I'm curious if y'all have too. Have any of you experienced imposter syndrome? So imposter syndrome is really a psychological occurrence where people really doubt their skills, and they fear that they're going to be exposed for not being the best or know all the information about it. So how many of you have felt that? Yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, when I first was feeling it, I was like, oh, but it's a very common human feeling, right? Okay, so one of the best shifts that I made for myself in regards to this, talking about the business, because I'm no expert at this, but my desire to learn and share about it and experience it is very strong, right? And so the best shift, for instance, like I was leaning into the things that I hold super near and dear to my heart, like leveraged income. I have zero desire to work dollar per hour. How many of you are kind of done with that shit? Yeah, done. So done. Over it. Done like a year ago. Yeah. Done like a lifetime ago. Totally. So this is the biggest secret that I'm gonna let y'all know. I don't share from a place of expertise. I share from a place, I don't share from expertise or knowing everything about anything. What helped me to melt away imposter syndrome was really literally me talking about the things that I'm currently learning. So, and I do that. I've been diving into books about wealth, books about leveraged income. What are the millionaire minds doing? What are the people that are creating millions of dollars? How are they holding that? What is their blueprint like? How are they expanding that? I have been diving into that. And then what happens is that I share what I'm learning, not from a place of expertise, but and then I blast that on repeat. And I say it in so many different ways. I literally am taking that diamond that has multiple facets and I'm touching on every single facet. So that, that's really the art of telling stories, of sharing stories, sharing wisdom. And I'm simply sharing about exactly what I'm learning. And inevitably that is raising wealth consciousness. So for me, when I started sharing about this, I hadn't experienced leveraged income. This was a new thing that I was really starting to feel like, a baby starting to walk. I was like, oh gosh, I was falling a million times. And then like at a certain point, you start to just like allow yourself, but you keep trying and you keep showing up and you keep getting up to walk. And then eventually you start to get excited and like, so I'm really sharing from that learning space and ultimately raising wealth consciousness for myself. And then that really brings people back in and drawing them closer to me, the people that are sharing, that are desiring a similar thing. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Katie, that was just like, that was everything, there was like a little sass in there. There was a little, like really just that multifaceted. I love how you shared about like the diamond and like, and blasting it out on repeat, like as you're learning what you're sharing, rather than, because if you feel like you need to stand up in front of your audience and convince them of anything at all, whether if you feel like you need to find the one thing that's going to make them buy a Healy, or the one thing that's going to make you into the expert, or the one thing that and you're trying to convince someone of anything, you will never get on your Instagram. You will find every single reason in the world to not freaking do it. Why? Because that feels heavy as fuck, right? Like that feels heavy. It feels stressful. If you get into messy action, if you're just like, oh, this is just a log of my becoming, like I'm just here to like experience myself, like creating whatever, and you take the pressure off. And I also, I struggle with this as well. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I have like my Instagram grew so much and I haven't been going public. And like, what if I post things and nobody looks at them and my stories, and I can stop myself from the creative process of just experiencing my life and myself in this, through this lens, in this form. So Katie, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And can you just drop your Instagram, and then everyone please like share your takeaways. That was, if you haven't already, probably there's lots of comments, but whoo, that was amazing. Thank you, darling. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up our last speaker, because we have, as usual, we have so much to share on these Zooms. And this our last and certainly not least, incredible conduit of the art of the invitation, the art of sharing this balanced message, the art of really coming from a place of service, of coming from a place of beauty, of coming from a place of giving such beauty through social media is our beautiful brand new senior, well, not brand new, but fairly recently new senior director, Marta, who is coming in live from Mexico, but has been living in Peru. Miss Marta, come on over. Are you here still?
I am. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Amazing. Well, I would just love to have you share some of your deep, deep wisdom that flows through you, about, how you show up in such a way that content flows through you so gracefully and elegantly.
Thank you. I will, and I want to talk about social media from a more shamanic perspective. So stay tuned. So I have been holding spaces of transformation, serving, and working with people in all sorts of transformative ways for almost a decade. And I have not once had to pay to market anything that I'm offering. My retreats have always sold out. I've always had people to work with one-on-one, etc., because of social media. And I don't have a huge following, a few thousand people that I built over the years, but I'm not someone with hundreds of thousands. And what I've done with it and how I approached it, and my invitation for these 11 days is to really, rather than seeing it as an inconvenience, or rather than running with stories that are limiting, that are somehow about how technology is bad or how it takes away from your time, how, it's bombarding you with advertisements, to really see it as a gift. That's part of this offering, an invitation to take something that's in the world. And also Age of Aquarius, technology is a piece of our reality, and make it your own and make it work for you and make it an extension of your authentic expression. And I really deeply believe that this is in relationship with our inner work. Because if we do have unintegrated addictive tendencies, then instead of posting content on Instagram, we will be down Instagram rabbit hole of reels that have nothing to do with what we're creating. If we have unintegrated pain or unintegrated disconnect from ourselves, then we will use social media to numb, to check out, to not be present with our vision. And so I was saying earlier how it can be a shamanic expression and practice. We can choose to use our relationship with social media as something that offers alchemy to all the ways in which we're being absent with who we are here to be. And I feel that for those of us who have a big mission, and I think a lot of us have a big mission, if not everybody, I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody, it can be intimidating to say yes to it. It can be intimidating and scary to say yes to how good it could get in this space, especially when you see other people thrive, other people make incredible amounts of income, or other people just flying through the roof, quitting their jobs, or relocating to another continent because of being in this community. So many deeper pieces can come up. Oh, it's them, it's not going to be me. He has hundreds of thousands of followers, I have 200. Who am I to live like this? It's never going to happen to me because I'm A, B, and C. And so in these challenges and in this foundation of this business that comes with the use of internet and social media, is an invitation to do our inner work. Because if there is a part of you that's holding back on sharing your story because of an imposter syndrome, or even this feeling of, well, nobody cares, or this person's story is more interesting, or who am I to share my story, then unconsciously, I think other human beings can really perceive that. I think that's the beauty of being human, that we can sense each other's inauthenticity. And so what if these social media challenges are actually a real invitation to be authentic? And when I say that I've built my entire business around, so not around, but thanks to social media, and never had to advertise retreats, I haven't done it by going on Instagram and being like, oh, I'm hosting a retreat, everybody should come, it's going to be great. I have been telling my story. I have been sharing parts of who I am that are relatable, that can help another person feel less lonely with what they're going through, that can help someone feel a bit more seen. And so this incredible field that we're in, and this amazing tool that publicly we don't call a medicine because of compliance, that totally in my eyes is a medicine, is a beautiful platform for connection. You know, so many of us are here because we were praying for a way out of something that was painful and challenging. I was praying for a way out of an incredibly difficult rite of passage, and the medicines I'm used to work with weren't working. And when I tell this story, there's so many people who nod along and who feel the pain and who feel the terror I was in. And I think we can share about what we're here for and what we create here from this place of full ownership, speaking from I, not when you are in a challenging relationship with your health. When I was in a challenging relationship with my health, when I was in a difficult place in my life, when I prayed and was receiving this guidance, when we own it, when we speak from I, and when we truly get real with who we are and what it is that's the most bubbling piece of our story, people are yearning to hear it. There's this beautiful poem by Sean Doherty that goes, "Why bother? Because right now there is someone out there with a wound in the exact shape of your words." This could be the entire social media training. It is so beautiful. And if you have, you know that you have this tendency to think, no, why bother? No one cares. No one listens. I only have 50 followers. Who am I? There is likely at least one person out there whose life could be completely changed based on you telling your story, based on you sharing, based on you giving another human permission to dare to live a different life. And what has been deeply transformative for me in this space and in the last 14 months of stepping into this community has been the shock of how big are actually my dreams when I give myself permission to meet them and to welcome them. I have really been holding back and didn't even know that, because that's how I was wrapped up in my stories. And so owning that and going on my social media and saying to people, yes, I am in this beautiful space of already living my Dharma, and this is what I'm creating here. This is what this community is bringing into my life, has been so impactful. And I'm noticing the conversations that come from me fully owning different aspects of what I'm here to create. And my invitation right now is for these 11 days. Could these be 11 days where you share 11 aspects of your being, 11 facets of your story, 11 things that really touch your soul, maybe 11 prayers or gifts of vulnerability or empowering pieces of your own trajectory, authentic expressions. I mean, we're all human beings, souls having human experiences, and likely you have been through stuff in your life, maybe recently, maybe in your childhood. We've all been touched by all the lessons that our souls have signed up for. And Healy is such a powerful mirror of that, because whatever is there that is unintegrated comes up right away in the coaching analysis. Whatever needs to be harmonized for us to live from that soul essence gets brought forth. And you can weave who you are here to be with who you have been at once, and all that you've learned, all that you've realized, but also that bigness and juiciness of what you're here to create into these 11 days, so that it doesn't have to feel like a challenge and I don't want to be online and Instagram. Own it. If you know that you have an unhealthy relationship to it, great. 11 days to show yourself that you can be in a healthy relationship with internet, with Instagram, with an app that's designed to suck us in for hours. What a victory to not let that happen and to use it to build and to create and to really work with it consciously. And so, yeah, my message, my invitation, and what I have been doing is tell my story. And you can't go wrong with telling your story. Not everybody will relate to it. Maybe some people will judge it. And it's your story. Those are the things that you're experiencing, things that have happened, what has shaped you, your biggest dreams. No one can really go on there and be like, no, this didn't happen, and you have no right to say that. And, I think that's the neutral point of really spreading a message from the owned personal experience of, I am here to experience that. This is what I am walking towards. Thank you.
Mm. Well, thank you so much, Marta. I was like crying. How many of you cried while Marta was sharing? Perfect tying up of all of the elements. I think you spoke to all of our hearts, and please share your takeaways. Marta, share your handle here as well. Yeah, someone has a wound in the shape of your words. And this is really what happens when we move from a place of service rather than a place of like this, like I need something from you, right? Like rather from the place of offering, of revealing, rather than the place of chasing or needing anything from anybody, right? 11 facets of your story. How elegant. And that is like the inroad into the authenticity that will become the foundation of your business, of your magnetism, of all the people who will come to you. It starts there. So Marta, that was absolutely exquisite. Thank you so much. I'm going to share two things with you. One is that Sam, our magician, is in the process of, there's slides baking in the oven right now that you'll be able to share in your stories in conjunction with these next two prospecting Zooms that we're doing on Monday and Thursday. Please be sure to come to both of those Zooms and make the commitment right now to bring at least one person with you to each of them. 3 people with you to each of them. Like, use the tools. We gave you the full layout of exactly how you can move this energy into, from this like beautiful, etheric space of like, oh, I'm so inspired by this. This is so amazing. I love the Zoom. Into like, okay, I just spent, 70, 80 minutes learning something, and I'm going to put it into practice because I'm here for a reason. I'm here to move energy. I'm here to create my dream. I'm here to build something. I'm here to be of service to other people. I'm not here to just spend time listening and receiving. I'm here to give. So those slides will be coming. They will also be located on the frequencyfamily.com/social media replays page, which you can also access through the resources page, right? Everything is streamlined. We're creating the map here. And the other piece that I want to reiterate is, or maybe bring into the space of imagination right here, right now, is how many people can we collectively reach through working together for these next 11 days? How much energy can we move together? That you are an integrated piece of this that we are here to create as community. And you are invited, and you are you are here, you are important, you are a vital piece of this bridge that we are creating as a community to another world that we all know that it is possible. You are a part of the bridge for humanity to make it through this intense portal that is just opening right now, that is just starting to get like, right? We can all feel like the intensity that's moving through the human collective right now. And you have this incredible opportunity to stand and support and be that voice that can unlock the heart of another human, and that can bring a solution to the people who are actively seeking one. Never to push something into someone's hands that aren't looking for it, right? We are here to seek out the prayers. And that only happens when we show up. So I'm going to make one like last little invitation, which is I'm going to invite all of you to go ahead, find someone who's either on this Zoom or not, or in your community, and do an Instagram live. Get on and sometime, at least one time in the next 11 days, you can do a series of them and just do a little interview, like just talk about it. Get on there with another person, move through all the butterflies of being like clicking that live button and share your voice. Actually talk about it with somebody else, whatever piece that you want to bring in, but bring that to the table. So, how many of you are committed to the 11 days? If you're committed, just type yes. And I am too. I'm going to be doing my 11 days. I'm going to be sharing all of your, I also told, okay, so here's one thing. I told corporate that we'd probably have about 30 entries. And I want you guys to prove me wrong. Adriana was like, well, if we have like 100, it'll probably take longer to get the programs onto everyone's Heelys. But like, let's do it. Let's get 100. Let's get 130. We had 133 people on this Zoom. It starts today. You can take the first thing, just take something that you learned from this Zoom and just share it. Go there. You do have until the 19th to submit your entries, but don't make like do it, do it. Like how you do one thing is an imprint that fits into the rest of your life. So do it in a timely manner. And also know that if we will be checking, so don't just like do it half-assed, because that's not going to help you. It's not going to help us. It's, do it, show up with your soul. Collabs are great. Collabs are on the list of all the things that you guys like. There's a list of prompts and support and all the things. Get creative, get weird, have fun, tag your upline, tag at the frequency family, at the dot frequency. It's all there. It's all there for you guys. Go into the resources page right now, click on that thing, dive in, and have fun with this. If there's one thing that I can give you right now, it is the joy of really diving all the way into this process and seeing what comes out on the other side, because there are miracles here in the field. You can feel them. I can feel them. They're around. They're here. They're like, okay, I'm here. Where's my opening? Where's my opening? So position yourself for those miracles. Open the door for them to walk into your world, and let's make magic together. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply, deeply, deeply love and appreciate all of you, and I will see you all on Monday. The Frequency Family, the frequency.family. It's all in the book. I love you all. Aloha.